Some actors just seem like they were born to play a certain comic book role, but which are truly the best in those roles? Hey movie fans, so with the release of Black Panther coming out this Friday, I think Chadwick Boseman looks like he really fits and will probably absolutely nail the role of Black Panther. I really liked him in Captain America Civil War, and I'm really curious to see what he brings to the table for his own solo outing. Will he live up to the all-time great casting choices in the world of comic book movies? Well, that's what we're going to discuss today with the top 5 all-time best comic book movie casting choices. So we've got a lot to choose from of just actors that I feel really nail their role. So kicking us off strong at number 5, there's really no difference between actor and character anymore. Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man. This dude, for all intents and purposes, he is Iron Man. The MCU basically started on his shoulders, and what shoulders they are, because Robert Downey Jr. has just so much charisma, so much personality. He very much just feels like he got ripped right out of an Iron Man comic. He feels like Iron Man in all the best ways. He's cocky, but yet likable. He's also just got that brash personality. He's got that suaveness to him. He is Iron Man. When he says that at the end of the first Iron Man movie, you really believe him. You're just like, yeah, I feel, yeah, you're probably Iron Man. I genuinely believe that. He is Iron Man. I don't know who else I could see in this role now, and that's essentially what you want in a casting. Of casting so perfect, you can't see anybody else in those shoes. Just like for our number 4 pick, Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool. Just like Robert Downey Jr., I see no difference between actor and character. Ryan Reynolds is Deadpool to me. Like, I can fully see where his fingerprints were on the marketing for Deadpool 1 and a lot of the Deadpool 2 marketing so far. It very much feels like Ryan Reynolds being Ryan Reynolds, which is great. He struck out twice through no fault of his own whatsoever in his first 2 superhero outings, and then knocked it way out of the park with Deadpool, because it felt very much like a character that he felt passionate about. It felt like his own personality that he was allowed to express himself and be just goofy and off the wall and crass and Deadpool. And Ryan Reynolds, he is Deadpool, and I hope we get to see Ryan Reynolds Deadpool interact with some MCU characters going forward and just kind of stir the pot a little bit, bring something different to the table, bring some new flavors of just quirky, off the wall Deadpool-ness. At number 3, we're going to go off the beaten path a little bit with Brandon Lee as the Crow. Unfortunately, the Crow just kind of has this reputation more for the tragedy that surrounded it with Brandon Lee of his unfortunate passing during filming, but that's not to take away from his performance in the film itself. Brandon Lee, to me, feels like the Crow stepped right out of the comic into a fantastic movie that I'm glad it has some cult status now, because this movie is fantastic and deserves to have more people talking about it as one of the first true rated R superhero movies. Got it, Deadpool? I know I just sang your praise, but come on, marketing yourself as one of the first big R-rated superhero movies, kind of a stretch when you have this fantastic movie, and that's due in no small part to Brandon Lee's performance as the Crow. You felt genuinely sympathetic for this guy, and you wanted to see him just absolutely wreck basically the slums of his city, just like going on this revenge tour. He is the Crow. He oozes this dark, brooding nature. You kind of you cling to. He's got that cool factor that the Crow. He's a sympathetic character and really, really tragic character, but one that you just can't stop watching and can't stop being invested in, because he's the Crow. He's so cool. He's so cool, in fact, that Sting literally just ripped everything off about him. At number 2, we have another one that's kind of off the beaten path, but if you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. Karl Urban as Dredd. Now, Karl Urban had a massive uphill climb for this one, coming off the back of the Judge Dredd Sylvester Stallone movie. Woo! Oh boy. Oh. That's a video for another day, just going into the schlock that was. However, Karl Urban's Dredd, that is comic book Dredd at its finest. The dude never takes his helmet off. He is Dredd. The brash, grisly voice, the just gritty, violent demeanor, the straight up violence and blood in Dredd is fantastic. But it's Karl Urban's Dredd that really just turned some heads and made an otherwise interesting movie really, really good. He basically elevated that movie to excellent, and I really, really want another Dredd. We're probably never gonna get it, but I want it, and if that's not gonna happen, Batfleck very well may still end up leaving Batman, and I kinda have always wanted Karl Urban as Batman. But what is the best comic book character adapted to the big screen? Well, it's frankly a character and a portrayal that still has not been seen since its original version, and fans to this day are still clamoring for his return. J.K. Simmons as J. Jonah Jameson. Yes, I know he's not a main character. He's not even a main villain. But you can't deny that he is absolutely the best version of any comic book character, of just like representing the original character of. Now, when I read J. Jonah Jameson in the comics, or see him on any of the animated series, or whatever else, my mind immediately goes to the J.K. Simmons version. You literally stepped right out of the comic, right down to the mustache, the voice, the hair, the attitude, the fast-talking nature. Everything was perfect about J. Jonah Jameson in the Sam Raimi Spider-Man trilogy. He outshone some of the other actors that were actually main characters in Kristen Dunst. He was so fantastic in those trilogies, and people always talk about spin-offs. I'd be okay with like a J. Jonah Jameson one-shot like they did with All Hail the King. I'd be okay with the J.K. Simmons one-shot, even though he's not in the same MCU. But please, 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 I don't care that he's Commissioner Gordon. When and if we ever get J. Jonah again with Tom Holland's Spider-Man, please bring back J.K. Simmons. He was so perfect in that role, and I can never see anybody topping his J. Jonah. Well, what do you guys think? I'm sure you guys have your own thoughts on this, and I would love to hear them. Who do you guys think were some actors that absolutely nailed their roles in comic book movies? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, if you like what you're seeing and want to see more, subscribe to the channel, or find me on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram at Uncharted Media. Stay sharp, movie guys and gals.